Welcome back to Pilates by Brianna. For today's workout, we will be needing a ball and your box. I have my box set off if I'm facing the foot bar to the left-hand side, and the edge of the box is about even with the shoulder blocks. And then I have on my balance body machine 2 heavy red springs. We'll put the ball off to the side for now, and your headrest is going to be down. Okay, so we have the box already set up, even with the shoulder block. We have the foot bar in the up position, 2 heavy red springs, headrest down. This workout will be about 30 minutes. So go ahead, get set up, and let's get started.
Come to lay down on your backs and find a neutral pelvis. Feet will rest on the bar briefly. You're going to grab hold onto the pegs behind you. Your spine is in neutral, legs will come up into tabletop. Elbows wide, both legs will come over to one side. The opposite hip will lift. Use the obliques to bring the legs back up to center, and then both legs will come over to the second side. And use the obliques to come back to center. So we're just tick-tocking our legs side to side here. Elbows are wide. You might feel a stretch to the chest. When the legs go down to one side, the opposite shoulder will stay on the carriage. We'll just do one more to each side. Nice and controlled. Really take your time, warming up through the spine and the core. And then bring the legs back up to center and rest the heels on the bar, hip distance apart. Hands can come back down on the carriage. We're going to go into a bridge. Tuck the tailbone as you engage the core. Begin peeling the back up off the carriage. One vertebrae at a time. Inhale at the top and then exhale to engage the core even deeper and roll on down. So we're doing our bridge here. Heels will stay on the bar, using the hamstrings and the glutes to help keep the carriage in at the stopper. Exhale up, inhale at the top, exhale to roll back down. 2 more. Last one here. Keeping the hips level, roll on down. And then you'll put the right heel on the bar, left leg will come up into tabletop, right foot is dorsiflexed, and begin pressing the carriage out and in, warming up through that right leg, using the glutes to press out. And now you're going to press out, pause, straighten the left leg, bend the left knee, bring the carriage back in. Press out, pause, straighten the left leg, bend it, and bring the carriage back in. So just warming up a little bit through the hamstrings. We'll do one more time like this. And then grab hold behind that left leg and pull that left leg in towards you for a hamstring stretch. Bend that left knee, bring the carriage on in, and we'll switch sides. Left heel on the bar, right leg in tabletop. The left foot is flexed towards you, and then thinking of using that left glute, begin pressing the carriage out on your exhale, in on your inhale. Last one like this, and then we'll add in that straightening of the right leg. So press out, pause, straighten the right leg, bend the right knee, bring the carriage in. Just a dynamic stretch through that right hamstrings. Two more like this. Last one. And then grab hold behind that right leg and give yourself a stretch. And then you could bend that right knee and bring the carriage on in. Both heels will go back on the bar, hip distance apart, hands down by your side. We're going to lift up into your bridge position. And then you're going to straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling and begin pressing the carriage out and in with that right leg. So the left leg is up towards the ceiling. Try to keep the hips even and elevated as you press out with that right leg and really use that right hamstring to bring the carriage on in. This is the last one like this, and then we're going to add in some movement. Lower that left leg over the bar, and then as you press out, kick that left leg up towards the ceiling, and then back over the bar when you bring the carriage in. 2 more like that. Press out, left leg up towards the ceiling, and when the carriage comes in, that left leg will come to the bar. Put both heels on the bar, lift the hips up, and then roll on down. And then we'll go into the other side. Lift the hips back up into your bridge position. You're going to straighten out the right leg. Keep the right leg up towards the ceiling as you press the carriage out and in with that left leg. 3, 2, last one. Bring the carriage in, lower the right leg over the bar. And now as you press the carriage out, that right leg will go up towards the ceiling and back over the bar as you bring the carriage on in. 3 more. 2. And last one. Both heels to the bar, lift the hips up, and then roll on down. You're going to find your ball, and it's going to go between the ankles. We'll stay on these 2 heavy red springs for our mid-back set. Pick up the straps, holding on to your choice of the short loop or long loop. Arms up towards the ceiling, legs in tabletop, and we'll begin with our pull down. Pull the arm straight down to your side, and then control it back up. Exhale to pull down. Inhale, arms go back up towards the ceiling. We'll do 1 more like this. And then next time you pull down, we'll add in a leg extension. So pull down, straighten the legs, and then everything comes in. We have 5 here. So 3, 2. Next time you pull down, keep the leg straight and squeeze into the ball 10 times. Little presses here. Arms are hovering above the carriage, legs are long, feeling the core work, feeling the inner thighs work. 10 presses, then bend the knees. And then we'll go into triceps. Bend the elbows and straighten the elbows. Legs will stay in tabletop initially. 3 more like this. 2. Last one. And then we'll add in that leg extension. So now you're going to straighten the elbows and the legs, and then bend everything in. So we'll straighten everything out, bend everything in. We have 2 more. And then on this last one, you'll hold the leg straight and you have those 10 presses into the ball, nice and controlled. Bend the knees in and then rest everything down. You're going to take the ball out and it's going to go into your right hand. You still have the straps in each hand. And then arms will go up towards the ceiling. Legs will come into tabletop. You're going to straighten both arms out to a T as you straighten one leg. Pull everything in, pass the ball to the left hand, and switch. So arms will come out to a T, straighten one leg, and then pass the ball as you bring the arms back up. Carriage does not move here. We're stabilizing. You're keeping tension on the ropes the entire time so the carriage is out from the stopper. Next time the ball is in the right hand, we're going to pause. Now we're going to do a pull down as you straighten out the left leg, and you're going to pass the ball underneath the right leg, and then everything comes back up. Ball is in the left hand. So you'll pull down, straighten the right leg, pass the ball under the left. And we're just alternating back and forth here. So you're passing the ball underneath the bent knee leg. And we'll come up into a chest lift with this as well. We have 2 more. And then last one. And then you could rest everything down. Heels can go wide. You could windshield wiper the legs side to side. Hang up the straps. We are done with them. And then you're going to drape the legs over the bar and roll on up. We're going to change the springs. I'm putting on 1 light yellow spring and taking off the 2 heavy reds. And then you're going to come have a seat on the box facing the foot bar. So strap is going to go in your right hand. I have the short loop on. And then the ball is in the hands. The rope will be underneath your right elbow, and we're going to do a chest press. Press the ball out and then control it back in. So the ball is between both hands. You're just pressing out, controlling it back in. You're sitting up nice and tall, core is engaged. Two more. Last one. And rest the arms down for a moment. Next one we're going to do is an oblique rotation. So press the arms out, rotate towards the carriage, and then use the core to bring the arms back to center. So you're going to let the strap kind of pull you towards your right, and then use your core to come back to center. Arms stay extended the entire time. We have about 6 more here. Two to go. Last one. And then when you're back at center, rest the arms down. Next up is going to be a roll back. So you'll bring the arms out in front of you again. And then you're going to find your C curve as you begin rolling down just as far as you feel comfortable. And the work here is going to be coming back up into sitting. That's where you're going to feel the abdominals and the arms working a bit more too. So rolling back just as far as you feel comfortable. Use your exhale to help you come back up to your flat back. Two more. Keep a soft bend in the elbows. Last one. And then when you're up to your flat back, you can rest the arms down. We're going to add a march into that. So straighten the arms back out in front of you. You're going to scoop, roll back halfway, hold here. Bring one knee in towards the chest, lower down, and then the second side. So we're alternating side to side here. We'll do 3 more on each side. 2 more on each side. Last one on each side. And then you're going to keep the arms extended, bring both legs up, and we're holding here, balancing. Holding, really work through the core, hold, arms are strong. And then rest down. Good work. You can hang up the strap. I'm just putting my ball on the carriage, and then we'll bring the box over so we can do that second side. So the box will be on the other side of the reformer, and the front of the box will be lined up with the shoulder blocks, or right about there. And then you'll sit on the box facing the foot bar. Strap will go in the left hand, balls in both hands, and the rope will be underneath your elbow. And we'll start with our chest press. Sitting up nice and tall, bring both arms out, and then control it back in. We're going for 10 of these. Exhale out, inhale back in. Two more. And then last one. And rest the arms down. Good. Now we have the rotation. So you're going to straighten the arms out. You're going to rotate towards the carriage, let the strap pull you, and then use your core to bring it back to center. Rotate towards the carriage. Use the obliques, the abdominals, to bring the arms back to straight out in front of you. We have 3, 2, and last one. When you're back at center, rest the arms down. Good work. And then we'll go into our roll backs. So you'll bring the arms out in front. You're going to engage the core, scoop, roll back, and then come back up to an upright position. So you're rolling back just as far as you feel comfortable. And again, more of the work will be coming back up to that upright position. I like to inhale back and then exhale to assist me coming back up to my flat back. Two to go. And last one. And then rest down. And then we'll add the march into that. So bring the arms back out in front. You're going to scoop and roll back halfway, and then bring one knee in towards the chest, and then the second one. So alternating sides here. We're going for 5 on each side, 10 total. One more on each side. And then you'll bring both legs up, and we're balancing here. Arms stay strong, just holding, finding that balance. Hold it, looking strong. And then rest everything down. And you could hang up the straps. We're going to put the short box on. You're going to put on one blue spring, take off that light yellow, and I'm lowering my foot bar down 1 notch. We're going to go into a lunge set, and we will be using the ball. So find your ball. You're going to come up onto the carriage. You'll place the left foot on the platform, and the ball is going to go between the shin and the bar. The right heel will be up against the box, toes are on the carriage. Come to an upright position. Once you find your balance, you're going to lunge into your straight leg as you press out, and then use that left glute to come back up. So we're pressing out, right leg stays straight, bending into the left knee, using that left glute to bring the carriage back in. If you feel pretty good here, you can add in arm movements. As you press out, the arms will go overhead, and then back to your side as you bring the carriage on in. We'll go for 5 more like that. Nice control, take your time, sitting as deep into that lunge as you feel comfortable. Next one will be our last one. You're going to stay in that lunge position and then bend the right knee to bring the carriage in and then press out. When you bend the right knee, arms are coming into a goalpost and then going back to overhead as you press the carriage out. So we're staying in the lunge, left leg stays bent, and we're bending and straightening that right knee to bring the carriage in. Feeling a lot of heat in that left glute and that right quad, the front of the right leg. Last one. And then for this next variation, you can either stay with that or hands will go to the bar, lift the left foot up, you're pressing into the ball, and then we're going to bend the right knee to bring the carriage in and then shoot it back out. So strong through the arms, really feeling that core working, bending and straightening that right knee to bring the carriage in and out. Ball stays pressed into, or shin stays pressed into the ball, which is into the bar. Last one. And then carefully put the left toes on the platform, take the ball out, bring the carriage in. You're going to sit on the box and then you'll turn so that way you're sitting facing the risers with your feet on the headrest. Place the ball between the knees, pick up the straps, cross the straps, and hold on to the tape. We're going to come into a low V. So think chest expansion, but we want to clear the box. So sitting up nice and tall, you're going to bring the arms out to about a 30-degree angle, clearing the box, squeezing between the shoulder blades, and then bringing the arms back in. And you're going to keep a slight squeeze into ball the entire time to gauge the inner thighs and to help draw strength from the abdominals. Two more. Last one. And then you'll hold on to the short loops. We're going to do our external rotation with punch out. So you're going to have the elbows at your side, elbows bent. Externally rotate, so keep the elbows in as you rotate out. And then punch the arms out away from you. And then bring everything back in. So we'll externally rotate and then bring the arms out to the side and then bring everything back in. You're nice and straight through the spine. You're looking straight ahead, strong through the arms. And you're still keeping a nice little press into the ball. Two more. Last one. And rest the arms down. We're going to do one other type of external rotation. Bring the elbows up in line with the shoulders, and then you're going to bring the wrist to come up and then back down. So try to keep the elbows in line with the shoulders the entire time. These are all really good for rotator cuff strengthening. And you're just kind of pivoting along the elbow. Three more. Two. And last one. And then you can rest the arms down, uncross, hang up the straps. And then we're going to turn back around and do the lunge set on the second side. So you're going to have the right foot on the platform and the ball will be between the right shin and the bar. Left heel will be up against the box, toes are on the carriage. And you're going to come up to a standing position. Find your balance here. Take a moment to get set up. And then when you're ready, you're going to begin bending into that right knee as you press the carriage back with the left leg, using the right glute to come back up to an upright position. So we're lunging back, keeping the left knee straight. And then when you're ready, you can add in the arms. So as you lunge back, arms will go overhead and back down to your side as you bring the carriage in. We'll do 6 more here, really focusing on form, not speed. Two more. And then on this last one, we're going to hold it out. You'll bend the left knee in as you bring the arms to your goalpost and then shoot everything back out. So we're staying in that deep lunge, really working that right glute, bending the left knee out and in to bring the carriage in. Two more. Last one. And then next time the carriage is out, hands will come to the foot bar. Find your deep abdominals, lift up, lift the right knee up, and then bend the left knee to bring the carriage out and in. So we're in kind of like a plank position and using that left leg to bring the carriage in and press back out. Core is strong the entire time. You're strong through the shoulders. 2 to go. Last one. And then carefully put the right foot back on the platform, take the ball out, bring the carriage in. And then come off the reformer. We're done with the ball, so you could place that off to the side. And you're going to bring the carriage back behind the reformer. And we're going to do a plank set. I'm going to take off all the springs, and then my forearms will go on the carriage, and I'm going to step back so I'm in a plank position. Carriage doesn't move. In this position, we're going to do mountain climbers. You're going to bring one knee in towards the chest and then bring it back out. So we're just stepping one leg in and back out, alternating sides. Sorry, my dog is kind of blocking the view a little bit, but it's just a mountain climber. We're just strong through the arms, through the core, spine is straight, bringing one knee in and then back out. And then come back to your plank. Now you're going to step one foot out and back in and then the opposite leg out to your side and back in. So again, carriage is not moving. We're just stepping a leg out, tapping it on the ground, and bringing it back in and alternating sides here. One more on each side. And then you can carefully press back to a little down dog type of position or a stretch through the hamstrings, just rounding the spine, whatever feels good for you. And then you'll come back to your plank position with the forearms on the carriage. Now we're going to begin walking the carriage to the opposite side of the reformer. So you're trying to get it all the way to the stopper. I have to walk over my dog. And then once you're at the stopper, you're going to come into a side plank position. So the opposite arm will be reaching up towards the ceiling. We're just holding here. And then that forearm will come back down to the carriage and we'll walk to the other side of the reformer. So just slow plank walks. Once we get to that stopper, we'll come to a side plank facing the risers this time. Holding here in that side plank. And then forearms to the carriage and walk to the other side. We're going to walk one more time to each side. So once you get to the risers, we'll come into our side plank facing the foot bar, holding it here. Strong through those obliques, stay lifted. And then that forearm will come down and walk to the opposite side. And then once you come to the stopper, we have our last side plank here. And then that hand will come to the carriage, walk it on in, and you could just press back to a little down dog. And then you'll put on 2 heavy red springs, and we're going to finish with feet and straps. Come to lay on your back and put your feet in the long loops. We're going to do short spine. For me, that always feels really nice after doing planks. If short spine does not work for you, you're going to bring the legs straight up and straight down, so just our pull downs. But if it does, then you'll bring the legs up towards the ceiling and then lift the hips up, bring the carriage all the way into the stopper, heels together, toes apart, bend the knees as wide as the shoulder blocks, and then begin rolling down your spine all the way to the carriage, and then bend the knees even more and press out. Feet will come parallel as you come up and bring the legs over, bring the heels together, toes apart, bend the knees so they're in line with the shoulder blocks. Begin rolling down one vertebrae at a time. And once you get as far as you can, you'll bend the knees and press out. We'll do about 3 more here, articulating through the spine, really getting nice range and a nice stretch in the low back. Last time through. Roll all the way down, press the legs out. The legs will come up towards the ceiling and we'll go into our hip circles. Pull down, circle the legs around from each other, around and up, and then we'll stay in that direction. Pull down, circle away, around and up, going as wide as you feel comfortable. Next time the legs are overhead, we'll pause and reverse. Open the legs away from each other, around and down, and then come up through center. Away from each other, around and down, come up through center. Next time the legs are up towards the ceiling, we'll pause and we're going to go into a stretch. Lower the legs down and then you'll bend the left knee so that way the left foot is on the outside of the frame and then the right leg will go up towards the ceiling. Feeling a stretch in that right hamstring and the left hip flexors, and we're holding it here. To come out of it, you'll bend the right knee to press out, bring that left leg up, and we'll switch sides. Bend the right knee, the right foot will go on the outside of the frame towards the ground, the left leg up towards the ceiling. And you could pull on the strap of the straight leg if you would like for more of a stretch into that hamstring. To come out of it, you'll put pressure on the left strap, bring the right leg up, and then we're going to finish with a butterfly stretch. Bottoms of the feet will come together, knees open out wide for a stretch in the inner thighs and low back. And then you can take the feet out of the straps. And that is going to be everything for today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed the workout, please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share, and I'll see you next time.